Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a quick and dirty breakdown of our budget for our last Disney trip. Now, this is a question that you guys are asking me all the time. How much does it cost to go to Disneyland? How much does your family spend? And I'm happy to answer that question. So I like to do a budget breakdown after our trips so that I can show you and give you real numbers on what we actually spent. Because it's one thing to kind of estimate, but once you're there in the parks doing the thing, kids are asking for all the toys, you can really see how much you're actually spending. So let's get down to it and talk about how much we spent on our last Disneyland trip. Well, hey friends, if we have not met before, my name is Corina. I'm a wife and a mama to two little ones, and we love visiting Disneyland in California and taking you guys along on our family adventures. We have a few more trips coming up this year, so definitely subscribe if you're new here so that you don't miss a single one. And I also like to share real stuff, so our budget, what that actually looks like, and give you guys tips on how to budget well and save money on your trips, including Disneyland. So today I'm going to share with you guys our budget for our last Disneyland trip, which happened in April. We went for 1 full week, so we arrived Sunday night and we left Saturday morning, kind of lunchtime-ish. So within those days, we had 4 park days. We had 1 rest day where we did do a character meal, and then on our final day, which we usually like to do, we actually went to a brunch, and then we went ahead and drove home. We do drive, so we live in Northern California, so our drive is about, honestly, it's like 5.5 hours. It's anywhere from like 5.5 to 6.5 hours, just depending on traffic, how many times we stop. We've really gotten it down to a little bit of a science where we can hit that 5-hour mark pretty reasonably, and we're pretty comfortable doing that. So we do drive, and that does save us some money, so we don't have to worry about flights, but that's something to take into consideration. So when I share with you guys our budget numbers, just keep in mind your circumstance, where you're coming from, and the things that make your budget a little different. And I'll also share with you some tips on how I would save money in different circumstances. All right, guys, our first category to talk about is park tickets. Now, our family is actually Magic Key holders, which means that we pay like a monthly fee to have our Magic Keys, which gives us access to visit the Disneyland parks on certain days of the month. For us, that's for the key that we have, it's every weekday and then some weekend days. It just depends on the month. We do have a big blackout coming up in the summer, and then we also have a blackout the week of Thanksgiving and the last 3 weeks of December. So when we purchased our Magic Keys, we took into consideration what the blackout dates were, because you could see that before you purchase. And we planned our trips around those dates and decided if that would work for us, or if we needed to go up a tier in Magic Key, and we did not. So we were happy with the Enchant Key, which is what we have. It is the lowest tier key that you can buy into, above the Southern California resident tier key. That's a mouthful. Anyway, our Magic Keys cost us a little over $200 per month, and that is for each family member. So we have 4 people in our family, and so we pay $55 a month for our Magic Keys. Now, what we had figured out before we purchased our keys was that if we went to the parks between 6 and 8 times this year, we would pay for our Magic Keys. We have now been to the parks. My family has been into the parks 7 days. I've been into the parks 8 days. So our Magic Keys are now technically paid for. So essentially at this point, any other days that we visit the parks are now just gravy on our Magic Key. So take that into consideration. We do not have to buy park tickets for our trips. However, if you do have to buy park tickets, I have several videos that include a full breakdown on what the park tickets cost and how to save money and things like that. So I will have those linked in the little iCloud up here and also below, so that you can get some more information for how to plan a budget trip when you have to buy park tickets, because I did not account for that. Okay, so our key is $220 a month, so that's what we paid in April. For our hotel or accommodations, we chose to stay at a condo, a timeshare, and I do have a tour of that condo. If you guys are interested and you missed that, I will have that linked below as well. But that condo for 1 bedroom cost us $468 for the week. We also do drive, like I mentioned, so we do pay for gas to get there and back, and we usually fill up at some point, kind of either during the week or like right before we get into Anaheim or right before we leave. So it's usually about 3 times that we fill up our car, and we budget $250 for that gas for the full trip. Now, let's talk about our biggest expense, which was food. Our food is always the biggest expense, and this time we went into the trip wanting to kind of scale back just a little bit and try to save some money by doing a big Walmart order. Now, I will admit, I kind of went overboard with getting stuff from Walmart. We ended up bringing home a lot of snacks, which was part of my intention. So when we went down to Anaheim, we didn't actually take that many snacks. We kind of just took enough to get us by in the car because I knew our Walmart order was arriving at the condo and we would have a ton of options. So I ordered stuff like chips, popcorn, pretzels, crackers, like fruit snacks. I ordered cookies. I got pizza, like little mini pizzas that my kids love, the little like teeny tiny ones, little bagel bites. I think that's what they're called. Those pizzas. I ordered salad kits. I ordered fruit. I got apple juice. I got sodas. I got waters. What else? Ella ended up buying popsicles at a later date at Target. Oh, we got bread and peanut butter and jelly. We also got milk because my kids love their chocolate milk. We got Nesquik, so like the Nestle kind of like stir-in stuff, the liquid one. We also got some coffee for me, just like iced coffee. I got a creamer. I said fruit and our salads. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, we got breakfast sandwiches as well, so that was helpful. We also got mini muffins for our kids because they do love those. We actually took down a little bit of cereal because we had a ton of cereal that just was gonna sit in our pantry, so we brought that with us. And I also got mac and cheese bowls because Ella loves her mac and cheese. So that's a lot of groceries. It's a lot of groceries for a week for 4 people plus my dad, so 5 people. We also got trail mix, right? Yeah, nuts and what else? I think that's about it. Okay, I think that rounds us out a little bit. So like I said, that's a lot of food for 5 people, but that allowed us to save a lot of money from not having to eat in the parks. So we spent $250 on that grocery haul, but again, we knew that we would bring that food home, especially like the snacky stuff. We also knew that those are things we ordinarily buy, and so it's not something that we would get it and be like, oh no, we don't like it, we're gonna like toss it. It was stuff that we use and that we love. I also forgot to mention we did get cheese and crackers and like salami, so I could make little like Lunchable boxes for my kids in the park, so that was helpful too. Okay, so I'm actually really glad that we did that Walmart order, even though it was a little bit more of a costlier haul than it would have been like at home necessarily. The other thing I did was that I did not buy groceries at home that week and a half prior to the trip. So before we go on a trip, I try to cut down our grocery budget quite a lot because we want to eat through the food that we have and not spend a bunch of money on food that's just gonna sit while we're away. So what we do is we spend really, really minimally. We kind of just get like the bare basics in order to get us through those last kind of week and a half or so before we have our trip. So that's what we did. And so we knew going into it that this food would also come back with us and be able to, you know, snack on in the car and then come back and go in our pantry if we had extra leftovers. Okay, so where else we spent food, we did do a character meal, which was $300 at Goofy's Kitchen. We did the spring brunch buffet and it was so good, but it was pricey. So it was $300 for 5 of us, which we did have to pay for both of our kids because they're over the age of 3. And I'll be honest, my kids ate like nothing, so that was kind of a bummer, but that's just the name of the game, and they were so excited to meet the characters, so that was worth it. The other places we spent money for food was we got pizzas at our hotel one night, so that was $72. We got Chinese food that lasted us like several meals for $100. And then our brunch before we went home was at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, which was also $71. And then we did have some spending in the park, mainly on like toys and like snacks and like treats and things like that. So our total spending for in the parks on both food and souvenirs came to $555. So our food budget in total came to $1,348 for the week. That brought our full total for our trip to $2,066. So that is a full trip budget for a full week at Disney for our family. So that's it for today's video, friends. I would love to know your thoughts. Is this higher than you expected or lower or kind of about where you anticipated? Let me know in a comment down below and I will see you next time. Bye guys.